Good morning. Good morning. It's me, Annalisa, with my spiritual friend. I am back. It's number 18th, 2021. And today I wanted to talk about synchronicities. And I think the reason why I want to talk about synchronicities and manifesting is because I've been having so many synchronicities lately. What do they mean? Is your manifestation happening? Are you jumping through time warps? Whatever. All the kinds of things that you can hear. Real quick, I am a certified psychic medium, seance conductor, and energy healer. I'm an ordained spiritualist reverend, and I have a background in nursing. I'm a mom, and that's about it. Is that enough? So I wanted to talk about synchronicities and how they pop up for me, and are they a sign, and what does it mean? So it means a lot of things. What I've noticed is I've been asking, I do a lot of inner work. I'm hoping you guys do that too. But I've been doing a lot of inner work, and on Sunday, I did this had a yoga experience. And during my yoga experience, I met my lower self, which was interesting. And now I keep seeing signs come up about, healing and connecting with the lower self. And my friend Georgia, and I didn't tell her about this, it just happened to pop up. She's doing a workshop on meeting your lower self with love and compassion. Your lower self is not your ego. It's very different. It's the other side of the coin of your higher self. So it is somebody you can meet. Hi, Hannah. So it is a being, an aspect of yourself that you can meet. It never even occurred to me to connect with my lower self in that sense, like that it would be outside of me, or not outside of me, but I don't know either way to say it. I've done meditations to meet your higher self and to meet my higher self, and my higher self resembles me, just a little more glowier. A lot of us strive when we're building our spiritual practice and gifts to meet with our higher self. A lot of us strive when we're manifesting to get that wisdom from divine. Rose said, I've been having a ton of synchronicities, sometimes confusing if they just mean you're on the right track or that they need to take action. It can mean both. Synchronicities can mean your manifestation is put out there. So synchronicities can be so I guess I'm trying to think of examples in my life where I saw a lot, and I'll talk about some of the ones right now. But in general, like for some of you, if you're trying to have babies, I would see a lot of pregnant women during it. So I thought, okay, this is going to happen. That's my sign that's going to happen. That is manifesting. That's out there. Or I would see families of 2 or families of 4, and then families of 5 when my third one was coming. Hi, Lauren. Welcome. But for now, a lot of the synchronicities I've been seeing, because I've been chatting with my guides, it's that question of, are my manifestations being put out there? Or are they just in seed stage? And I keep reminding myself they're in seed stage. It's in the, when I talked about the winter period is when everything is underground and waiting to come up through the spring. I think I talked about that a few weeks ago. And I was talking about during the when Halloween time, when, the fall is about letting go of things that no longer work for you, and the winter is about the manifestation period where things are kind of underground. You see 10 all the time. So 10 can actually, if you assign it meaning, just like when you're developing your psychic abilities, your intuition, you build your own dictionary, right? You're building your own language. So you assign it meaning, and or it can mean you're on the right track. So the day before yesterday, I had a dream a while ago, and I have premonition dreams all the time of things that are going to happen, events, conversations, meeting people before I meet them. In college, I had a dream about my favorite bar burning down, but I didn't know that's what I was dreaming about. I just was standing in the street in the town and could see all these lines on the ground, and I didn't understand what the lines were, these big pipe things I was stepping over. Well, if you've ever seen a fire hose, it's freaking huge. And I was stepping over these fire hoses while watching my favorite bar burn down. There. So you're connecting it with your brother. So he's letting you know. So it's not that he's creating the number 10s there. He's pulling your awareness to those number 10s and saying, I'm with you. I'm here. I see you. I love you. That's the way spirit does it. So we think, Are they putting me like this? No, they're bringing your awareness to the connection, or they're bringing you intuitively to the experience. We use our intuition. Spirit can do all kinds of interesting things to get us to be in a certain space, especially if you're open to it. Um, if you're not open to it, you go, oh, that's just a coincidence. I know a lot of those people. um, and I go, okay, because it's really not worth a fight or my argument. Um, for me, synchronicities are big, big hugs for you, Lauren. Um, Synchronicities can mean reminding me that, okay, like especially with my synchronicities, when my dreams pop up and they are happening. So I saw like in the other day, it was a dream where I was outside my garage and I was like picking up all these clothes and backpacks and stuff and like putting them in the house. I thought, why am I picking, like in the dream? I remember having it thinking, that's just weird. Same thing when I was like walking in my grandmother's house and I was like seeing her furniture, but then this other strange furniture that didn't belong there. And it was in a weird formation and like a camping chair in the middle of the living room. It made no sense. I was like, whatever, that's just one of those weird dreams I have. Well, then fast forward several years and I'm being walked through on a Snapchat video with my cousin and she's showing me the house. And that's exactly what was happening in the house. So those are my things of you're on the right path. This was all meant to be. This is exactly where you need to be. You're okay. So we don't realize what's manifesting in our life and what's adding up. Like if you set an intention a long time ago that things are going to happen, that's how it happens. Sometimes that's just the like this is all okay. It's a reminder everything's okay. For me, what's my creepiest experience? I'll tell you in a minute. Um, and it's not even that creepy, but it's like whatever. So synchronicities also can be where you place the seed to manifest it, and it's not exactly your manifestation coming out, but it's seeing it pop up for other people or seeing reminders of it for other people. So, or the name of like, say you want to work for a specific company, and it's not like you have the job opening is there yet, or that you have a response back from them. It's just that like you'll see that name pop up here and there. Or if you're manifesting a specific person, you'll meet people with their name or their name will pop up in different places. If you're manifesting getting pregnant or getting married, wanting your SP to ask you to marry them, things like that, you'll see diamond engagement ring commercials constantly. That's not because that's not like, crazy, unless you're saying, show me this. If you show me this, then that means that sort of, you can create that. Or if I see that, this means this. Sometimes you manifest that thing in person, but the synchronicities are a sign that your manifestations are coming. They're on the way. They're in the pipeline of orders that need to be fulfilled by the universe. So the creepiest experience I've ever had, I have seen dark energies and crossed things over, and usually those are things like they're really like my kids saw them. They were little enough that so it was like, oh, I'm not seeing this. I'm not crazy. Um, where I could see them differently, but they were trying to scare my kids. Long story short, crossed them over, and it's usually somebody who had a belief system in life, like a religious belief system that they weren't a good enough person. They didn't gain favor in order to be able to cross into the light. And so they stayed here eliciting fear and negative feelings from people in order to feed their own energy. And they sort of morph into these scary looking things, dark, ominous, whatever. Creepiest, the weirdest, like, I don't know if it's creepy, but it was like weird. And I don't know anybody else who's had this experience. So it's kind of weird for me, is where I had a dream that I was another person, like in another person's body. And like all these very interesting things happened. And then several months later, I met a woman and she was like, I had this experience and I know somebody was with me. And she literally said my dream verbatim, like exactly like what she thought. Like there was a point where I was like, oh, I used to jump dirt bikes when I was in first grade. So I can get my car out of the situation. And true story was I did jump first bikes or dirt bikes in first grade. I was a bit of a tomboy, but like everything was like the same. It was the craziest thing. So that to me is the weirdest thing. You've been seeing dark shadows since I was 14, currently 20. So when I was little, I would see dark shadows a lot, but they weren't evil or bad. They were just, that was how my clairvoyance opened up to see spirit. So now I see it differently. I see, because as I've developed my connection and refined it, I see spirit more differently. In fact, they're becoming more and more solid now. Um, but or and they appear a little bit more 3D versus being like a flat shadow. So I would see shadows of pets, shadows of people. When I would fall asleep when I was little at night, I would see, and in college too, I would see like crowds of shadows, like look like a crowd of people in my room. And I would just convince myself that that was my eyes adjusting to the dark and that everybody had that. But yeah, so it doesn't necessarily mean that it's anything bad. Um, even bad is not really necessarily bad. You just cross them into the light. Always know that you're more powerful, that light is stronger than dark. So I started seeing them when I was a really little girl. It was just, I don't know, I just thought everybody saw it. Um, one side of my family, like my grandmother on my father's side of the family would see things, and my great grandmother would. So I think I wasn't so freaked out by it. Like I thought the possibility was there, but I didn't think the possibility for me to be able to do exactly what I do was there. I sort of manifested that. I think I remember seeing John Edward when I was little on TV and being like, that would be really cool to do that. Now I see white shadows too flying around and a lot of vibrations around the room. Yeah. So when they appear different, for different reasons, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're negative just because they're darker shadows. Um, sometimes my middle daughter, she's more open to talking about stuff, but she'll say, I see something dark. And I'm like, so ask what it is. Like, who are you? What are you? So sometimes she'll get, it's a male or a female. Sometimes she's like, I don't know, it's both. And I'm like, they can be that way. She's like, how is that? I'm like, because it just is. It's just the way it is. I think that's when I always like or used to, I have skylights in my bathroom now, but when I was had a bathroom that didn't have any windows in it, I loved taking a bath in the complete pitch black, like no lights, no candles, nothing, because you just lay there and you see energy and movement and things coming in and out, and it's super cool. Like I never needed to do drugs like that because it's my normal day to day. My mom can and my grandma sees things too. I think I got it from them. So you don't get it from them? I talked about this on my, show with Tony Pico or Anthony Pico. He does, Cosmic Tuesdays when he had me on as a guest on the 8th. I used to think like, "Oh, yeah, it's passed down in families," but I don't think that anymore, and I think that that's where it comes with manifesting. So, I actually think that it's everybody has the ability, and I've always thought that. However, I feel like when you have a family that's more open to it, then you're more opening to connecting with it and developing it. It doesn't seem so scary, foreign, or um, something to feel bad about. So, the shapes of light, and you never know if it's your eyes or something else. Well, if you look at a tree, so I always tell people you can see the aura of a tree and the energy of a tree. If you look just over the rim of it, you'll see the light that flows around it. Trees have auric fields as well. So, yeah, so it's not just, I don't think it's a genetic thing. I think it's completely a belief system thing. If you believe it, you can. And it's not just like, oh, there are many areas where the families believe in it and they celebrate spirit and seeing spirit and things like that. Um, but it's also where you get into the idea of like evil and you should be careful with that. Like it lends fear to it. And I think I had a lot of fear around it for a long time. And I think now that I've connected with lower stuff and not like, "Oh, yeah, I totally connect and, like, they're the best things ever," but, like, understanding that I can help them, send them love, and help, send them into the light. I don't feel as scared of them. It's like, you know, everybody needs a little love. The shapes of light and vibrations, etcetera. Hang on, I think you'd um, ocular migraines are different, so because 'cause I've had them. They're totally different. So you can see shapes moving around and things. Ocular migraines I actually get like the where it cuts the vision and it becomes like a little triangle wiggly thing or a half circle wiggly thing. It's totally different. Um, you can see some people talk about seeing where it looks almost like fuzz on a TV screen. And yeah, and they're different. Ocular migraines are very different. Um, than energy, seeing energy. It's totally different. And also, like, I also will lose my vision, like peripheral vision with ocular migraines. Like, so it'll start as a white, bright thing either, and it's almost like cross-hatched. It's the best way I can explain it. You have 3 daughters, 2 prone to believe, 1 not now. The one that didn't is so open to it. I think she has developed the moat. Situations are crazy and so validating. My son thinks we are nuts. Yeah, I mean, you can manifest this ability. Like, I know that I've manifested opening up even more and more and understanding it more and more and feeling more clear about it and being able to wanting to be able to help others develop it. And the synchronicities come where, like, synchronistic, I was getting information from my guides about like what's going on in my life right now and where I'm at. And I had a tarot reading this morning from this lovely woman, Tara Lori. She's pretty active on Instagram. And she was like, said everything I was getting. I was like, oh, yeah, that all makes sense. Like, it's just more validating. I was getting all of that from my guides and I just wanted the validation. So, very synchronistic, um, things popping up in different ways where just the thing with my friend, like, where I'm wondering, like, am I nuts for having seen my lower self? And that's like, oh, my friend just, like, this thing popped up, like, meeting your lower self. So things just happen. Synchronicities are absolutely, that your manifestations are on their way, that you're doing something right, that things are working out for you. um just I always check my phone when my kids are in school to make sure I'm not getting sick calls or anything like that. So that's what I want to talk about. That it is absolutely, when people are like, well, synchronicities are, and that your manifestation's coming, especially when it is, you're not asking to see it. Like, I don't like those ones where it's like, show me this and that, and then it means that. I just always say, give me a sign that it's on its way. And it's usually synchronistic type things coming up. I don't say, show me this so I see this, because then if I decide something means something, then I'll always see it. Or if I'm always like, I'll sort of be looking for it, right? And so then I might be manifesting it because I'm looking for it. So instead, I say, show me a sign. And it's typically something very synchronistic. So there is all of that. You can create it, but most of the time, the synchronicities are completely 100% that your manifestations are on their way. So don't let anybody tell you any different. But I'm going to go now because I got on here late and I apologize. I had a phone call this morning I had to deal with and all of that good stuff. So I hope that you guys have a wonderful afternoon. I will see you tomorrow. I am working on recording something and like but I recorded a whole thing on Zoom and was going to go to edit it and it did not save on my computer somehow. Oh, here, hang on. How can you help people be more open to it? My boyfriend made a sarcastic comment about manifestations the other day, and I'm like, ah. So, oh, I didn't say anything about seeing number 30. So, I have a friend who does this. And she was really funny. She was like, she just was like, I'm going to manifest this, and told her husband exactly what it was, and didn't like worry about what he said about it at all. And then it happened. I talked about her story about manifesting her old job coming back and offering her a management position. And then it like happened. He's like, oh my God. So sometimes it's not about making them see it or helping them see it. It's about showing like, oh, look, I'm doing this. And then it happens. Um, or just not worrying about if somebody else gets it or not. Cause it's not really, you can't make somebody get it. You can only live the life that you live and sort of be like this little beacon of light that walks around and says like, look, see, like it's so easy. Because some people are meant to get it and some people aren't. And they're just not open to it. It's sort of like when people go, "Oh, I don't believe in being psychic, that's crap." And I'm like, "Okay, we'll figure it out when we're dead. Like, I don't worry about it. That's your journey, and this is my journey." Um, I didn't say what the number 39 is because I don't really. So for me, um, I read number books sometimes when I'm seeing a number all the time, but I still also feel like I have set up that belief system with my guides that like this is another way to communicate with me. So, but I don't. There's a couple. There's the Doreen Virtue number book, and then there's this other one I have. Let me see what it is. It's on my Kindle. Ugh. But also sometimes when you're seeing like the number over and over and over again, it's just you're on the right path, you're doing all right. Keep it simple if you want, but I will tell you, you're always on the right path. Your guides won't let you veer off. Let me see what this one is. Come on. You tap on your phone and then it just, like, does not what you want it to do. Angel Numbers by Kyle Gray. So, that's another one I use. You're welcome, Lauren. You're welcome, Hannah. Hang on. She manifested a new iPhone we could not afford, but my husband's boss gave him one. It was buy one, get one. She wrote in 30 days in a row. That's awesome. She wrote it 30 days in a row. So it's like, if you just keep at it, like it's literally like, just believe it's there until it happens. Just believe it's there until it happens. Like circumstances don't matter. Just because you're not seeing it in the 3D doesn't mean it's not manifesting behind the scenes. When you plant a seed, some seeds are sprout in like 3 days. I think like chia seeds sprout in like 48 hours or less. But then not only are they sprouting, they still have to take time to get above the soil and then out of the ground. And then they're still like just little bitty, fruitions. It's not that full bloom thing that you want. So it takes time. You have to be patient a little bit. Some things, again, easier to get, free cup of coffee. That seed's going to bloom and sprout and go like that, right? It's like a weed. But, you want that house, maybe it's an oak tree. And those acorns take a little bit longer to get above ground, and it takes a little bit longer to get stronger and growing, but it doesn't mean you're not going to see signs of it ahead of time. Those are your synchronicities. So have a lovely day. I will see y'all tomorrow. Bye.